In a beautiful land that hardly ever saw cold, there once was a family of both young and old. They gathered each Christmas with packages and cheer, and they knew all but one of their kin would be there. Old Uncle, he lived all alone with his dog. He'd never get called, and he never would call. The waves and the wind stood between him and his kin, and he'd grump and he'd grinch and he'd screw up his chin. He decided he wouldn't call to join in their cheer. He determined he wouldn't be the one to call there. He knew that Rev Voice was the one that they use, and he knew it was how they would know all the news. Then the littlest one gathered all of her love. She picked up the phone to call Old Uncle and Dog. And then with a smile, she wished he was there.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Darren.
He heard with a tear.
This Christmas, cut the blue wire and save up to $250 per year. Offer ends December 31st. Get Rev Voice, save money.
A man stabbed and killed in Yellow Elder Gardens. A documentary raises concerns about local involvement in athletic doping. The Prime Minister expecting major moves on Bahamar. Plus, Cable 12 and the NASA Guardian team up for Year in Review 2015, and it airs tonight. We've got those stories and more tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MB12 starts right now. Tonight, a deadly holiday weekend ended this morning when a 30-year-old man was stabbed to death, reportedly by a relative. The stabbing sent police on an island-wide hunt for the killer. Meanwhile, residents of West Ridge North are also speaking out after a murder in that area over the weekend. They're calling for an end to the parties, which they feel are now attracting the wrong crowd. Kyle Joaquin reports.
30-year-old male, he became involved with an argument with a relative. This argument soon left the house and entered the street as he attempted to walk away.
But as he tried to walk away, he was reportedly chased by his assailant along Seymour Street in Yellow Elder Gardens, who then stabbed him to the upper body. He was pronounced dead on the scene by EMS. Police say the attack took place just before 7 this morning, and our news team understands the fight was over a jar of mayonnaise. Not long after, police went on a hunt for the victim's brother-in-law, 38-year-old Lavardo Newton.
We are looking for his relative, Lavardo Newton, and I'm asking him to come in and see us this morning, and so that he can answer to these allegations that are made against him here this morning.
But this morning's stabbing came on the heels of a bloody weekend here in the capital. On the premises just behind me, a man died after he and 3 others were shot during a party. Police have since arrested a woman and a man in connection with that West Ridge North shooting. Video of the incident quickly spread on social media Monday. And today we caught up with a few residents of West Ridge North, which is usually a more quiet community. But for a while now, residents say they've been making complaints to police about the constant parties and noise that occurs well after hours.
A number of us have called the police on many occasions about the noise. You know, we don't mind if there's a party in the neighborhood and 12:30, 1 o'clock, you cut the music down. But that music be blasted until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
It's a humbug. You know, you can't have a Sunday morning mass, but at the same time, every Friday, Saturday, even Sunday nights, you can hear the noise from this place, you know. And then for something like what happened recently to have happened in this area, I think they need to go.
We understand some residents have compiled a letter of complaint to be sent to the Commissioner of Police. Delancey said he's not sure if it's ever been sent, but something, he said, has to be done.
The music is loud, you hear it in your bedrooms, your homes, and sometimes you hear the cussing and the swearing that the whole public hears. That shouldn't be, you know, there's just too much of that going on.
This morning's killing marks the 147th for the year. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
A documentary has raised concerns about the possible involvement of local doctors in the supply of performance-enhancing drugs to athletes. A special report from Al Jazeera's investigative unit, a 50-minute program entitled The Dark Side, has caused quite a stir. Simone Davis has the details in this report.
One of the doctors was mentioned in the supply of growth hormones to disgraced American sprinter Tim Montgomery, who saw a 100 meters world record and a number of global medals and top times taken away for taking performance enhancement drugs. He was a central figure in the Bay Area laboratory cooperative steroid scandal. According to the report, while here in the Bahamas, Collins went in for a meeting with the person who reportedly assisted Montgomery. The first person identified in the documentary as a Bahamian doctor said, "I don't do the banned stuff anymore," but assured Collins that he could recommend him to another local doctor who does.
You're a competitive athlete.
I'm number one in the world for my age.
What's your personal best, please?
50.3 for 400 hurdles.
Dr. Cyprian Strawn is a respected figure here. At one time, he sat on a Caribbean-wide anti-doping board for bodybuilding.
Well, I don't do anything that's not I don't do the banned stuff anymore.
Is there anyone else with me speaking to on the island regarding if I wanted to do anything else?
I can give you a number. I don't know if he's gonna have.
Collins claims he also visited that other doctor while in the Bahamas, who admitted that he could get any drugs that athletes want and revealed that a lot of athletes are using them.
I'm interested in the growth hormone, EPO, insulin, testosterone.
These are all synthetic versions of the body's natural hormones. They build up strength and stamina, and they're banned by the governing bodies of most sports.
Insulin is not a problem. Get insulin.
Yeah, and then the other things are obviously the obvious EPO, growth hormone.
Those EPO I can get.
Now, am I being paranoid and thinking that a lot of athletes are on this, or do you know that a lot of athletes are on this? Yeah.
The report also noted that these types of drugs are all synthetic versions of the body's natural hormones that build strength and stamina and are banned by governing bodies of most sporting disciplines. The alleged doctor also goes on to say that 3 well-known Bahamian athletes are patients of his, and he supplied all of them with traditional medications, but not insulin, EPO, or testosterone.
One of Tim's oddest stories is how he first got hold of drugs. He says he found a doctor in the Bahamas willing to supply, and Tim celebrated with a fish dinner.
We had went to Goldie's fish fry, and I was like, man, that's the first time I had red snapper. Fried red snapper, and I was like, man, I wish I can get some of this fish back.
And that gave him the idea for smuggling the drugs back home.
The Al Jazeera report quotes a former legendary Bahamian athlete saying she condemns athletes who dope as morally warped and gutless. Since the report has been released, both of the persons identified as Bahamian doctors denied involvement with the supply of performance enhancement drugs. The second said that he can't get banned drugs and has never seen professional athletes, and the first denied providing banned drugs to anyone, also stating that he has never been charged with any wrongdoing in connection to Tim Montgomery. As for Collins, the 37-year-old British athlete is determined to discover top-level athletes globally on the dark side, those who would have been taking performance enhancement drugs and somehow slipped through the cracks.
My name is Liam Collins. I'm currently 6 times European Masters M35 400-meter hurdles and 100-meter hurdles champion.
Over the next few months, our team worked on pinpointing people with possible connections to doping and steering Liam towards them.
My weakest area at the moment, I would say, is my strength and conditioning.
Liam again introduces himself as an athlete wanting a last shot at Olympic glory.
Yeah, I'm just going to put one last line in a little bit more emotive to let him know that I am at the point where I'm ready to do whatever it takes, really.
The Al Jazeera report focused primarily on the story of a legendary football league quarterback with the Denver Broncos, in which a former pharmacist from an Indianapolis anti-aging clinic accused the quarterback of accepting human growth hormone from that clinic in 2011. Our news team contacted members of the Bahamas anti-doping organization, who said they have to meet collectively to discuss the issue before speaking publicly on the matter. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
Prime Minister Perry Christie said he expects a major move on Bahamar that could see the troubled resort completed early in the new year. In an interview at the Boxing Day Junganoo Parade, Christie said he has spent much of the holidays working hard on the Bahamar matter.
The fact that a very significant number of world-class operators have gotten involved and made applications for the property to assist, to put money into the property, to bring it to a conclusion and opening. These are big American companies. We have seen some of China's biggest companies come out themselves, and they have indicated a preparedness to buy into the development. And so for the Bahamas, we have a situation where the construction company has taken the position that it does not want to start construction without paying their subcontractors, and that brings the Bahamian subcontractors.
When Christie addressed the matter last month, he said the Export-Import Bank of China is expected to make a decision on a possible investor for the property soon. It has been nearly 6 months since operations at the Cable Beach property shut down. However, Christie said the government has a commitment from stakeholders to ensure the convention center will be completed to ensure an Inter-American Development Bank conference will be held there in March.
I'm anticipating in 2016, very early in 2016, that we're going to have a major move on Bahamar. Already we have a commitment to finish the convention center to ensure that the IDB conference that will be held here in March will be able to use the convention facilities together with Melia convention facilities. So therefore, I'm content with the fact that the receivers and the bank have agreed for a partial mobilization of the construction.
This is not the first time that government officials have promised to deliver good news on Bahamar. Christie has repeatedly said he expects the parties to come to a speedy resolution and was hoping for the resort to be completed by November. Christie said last month that he continues to be optimistic about the development. Stay with us. There's more news after the break.